If you're running paid traffic to your coaching or your consulting offer, but you can't seem to either generate enough leads or the calls that you're booking are very expensive, then it's probably because you're not doing the thing that I'm about to share with you. My name is Lloyd Yip, and in the last couple of years, I've helped over 130 plus coaches, consultants, and agency owners around the world scale their businesses massively. So I'm gonna be sharing with you today exactly what I've learned, and let's move into my screen share right now. All right, so let's get into it. I wanna first talk about what the funnel is that people are usually using now for their paid media and why it doesn't really work that well. And then I'll also share a bit more about the actual system that you should be using instead, which can generate 10, 15x, even 20x return on ad spend. So let me break down with a little bit of diagram here. This is how the majority of people are still running their ads, if I'm being entirely honest. And to be honest, this thing has been around for like years, popularized by Sam Ovens, Frank Kern, Russell Brunson, just driving paid traffic into essentially a video sales letter or a webinar. So this might be like a 20-minute video where obviously you're just sharing a bit more about your success, about your methodology, getting people to take some sort of action step, whether it be booking a call or maybe even sometimes buying the thing outright. So of course this has worked for a long time, but over the course of the last several years, it's gotten a little bit weaker. And why? The question is why. So I'll give you a very brief summary. I think one of the reasons why is because it's just more crowded these days. There's more saturation. This is the most popular funnel that people run. So because so many people have now seen this funnel, and maybe they've even bought products using this funnel, especially if they've been burnt in the past by mediocre products, it's gonna be scary for them to wanna buy products like this again. And if they're constantly seeing ads like this, if they're constantly seeing VSLs, the skepticism of whether or not they're buying from someone who's legitimate is only gonna get scarier and scarier and scarier for them, right? So back in the day, people used to say, hey, you know what? I can generate a qualified sales call with this funnel at typically like $200 per call. But nowadays, from like everyone that I've spoken with and having run this funnel myself, you're lucky if you're getting like a $350 cost per call. And sometimes it's even higher than that, right? Like typically the people that I see really doing well with this funnel today are the people who are selling to these like really random niches or these like really non-saturated markets where the potential buyer really has not been ever marketed to that aggressively by internet marketers. So because of that, they'll still buy. But if you're selling to an audience who's seen a lot of this before, such as like other entrepreneurs, or you're selling like a fitness product, or if you're selling like a biz dev, or if you're selling some sort of like relationship product, these are obviously the audiences which have been marketed to a lot and very aggressively. This particular type of funnel has lost a little bit of its effectiveness and it's gotten much more expensive over time. Another more practical reason as to why this funnel doesn't work as well as you would like it to ideally is because it's very reliant on the actual prospect to book a call. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, like, obviously they should be booking a call. That's kind of the entire point. But what I mean by that is that you're really relying on the customer to be the one who takes the action. You're relying on the customer to actually go through the funnel and find a calendar booking link and actually book a time and all that type of stuff. So the reason why this is an issue is because most people are very passive content consumers. Even they see one of your webinars or they opted into your funnel and they read a couple of emails, most of the time there's not enough urgency for them to actually act, right? And you can even think about your own previous background, like how often have you actually opted into a VSL or downloaded some sort of ebook, and despite that particular company asking you again and again and again to book a call, how often do you actually book a call? It's not very frequently. So this is the issue, right? It's relying on the prospect to take a lot of action when they historically will not do that. So if that doesn't work, if this draws a huge red X, then what is the effective way? What can actually drive results today? So let me actually share with you the funnel that we have started to use and the funnel that honestly a lot of the people in our space are starting to see massive results, 10x, 15x, 20x return on ad spend. And I want to share with you exactly why it works so well. So let me first walk you through exactly how this works. All right, so the core of the entire funnel is actually YouTube. So you're watching me right now on YouTube, most likely. And the reason why YouTube is really great is because it is essentially a VSL but on steroids. Rather than having a single 15 or 20-minute long video, you can have an entire library of videos, each solving specific problems that your customers or prospects may have, right? And the nice thing is because of YouTube's algorithm, you're gonna continue feeding and recommending your prospects and your viewers additional content that's directly relevant to them. And every minute that they spend on your channel, the deeper and deeper that they sink into just trusting you. And that's kind of the point. You want them to feel indoctrinated. The YouTube channel, given its algorithms, given the fact that there's just more content, given the fact that once someone watches and subscribes, on any return visit, they're going to continue seeing more and more of their content. Because of this, it's a much more powerful indoctrination method than just having a VSL. Because if you think about a VSL, they see it once, and if the first time that they opted into it, they never even watched it, because let's be real, a lot of people do that. They don't actually watch the content, then they might never see it again, right? And the emails that are being sent to this prospect to remind them, hey, watch the VSL, watch the VSL, watch the webinar. Let's be real, people don't even open their emails anymore, right? Whereas people are always going into YouTube. So if you can get them into your YouTube channel, there's more content, they subscribe, and they're just gonna get fed more and more and more content day after day after day. And this higher degree of indoctrination is massively valuable because we need people to really know, like, and trust us. These days, because people are so skeptical, without that know, like, and trust factor, not only will they not book a call, but even if they do book a call, they're unlikely to buy because they don't trust you enough, and YouTube is the best way to do that. So with that being said, where does the paid traffic come in? Well, the paid traffic is actually going to be driving people to YouTube, right? The core of our strategy is that we're trying to get people into our, not gonna wanna just wait for YouTube to organically try to find you your traffic, because if anyone here has started a YouTube channel before, you will know how long it takes before you're actually able to have an audience on YouTube. And it's the best channel, in my opinion. Having a YouTube channel is ultimately, in the long term, the best way to monetize a business, especially if you're in the coaching consulting agency world. But if you don't want to necessarily wait 6 months before YouTube's algorithm has found you your ideal buyer, then it just makes more sense for you to be a bit more proactive with finding your audience. So the question is, how do you do this via paid media? Well, there's a couple different ways, and frankly, this can work on several platforms. This can work on Instagram, this could work on LinkedIn. But the secret is that you're actually going to be running follower ads, right? You're not going to actually be trying to drive people directly to your website. So one of the things that you'll notice with this particular funnel here that is different from here is that with the paid media in this traditional VSL funnel, you're actually driving people off social media and into your website. You're actually pushing people from, say, Facebook or Instagram directly into your website, into your landing page where they fill out an email, right? And this is always going to be a bit more expensive because Facebook and YouTube and all these media platforms, they're incentivized to try to keep people on the site. So if you're literally trying to drive their audience off their site, they're going to make you pay more. Comparatively, if you're willing to run ads where the objective of the ad is actually to just get people to follow your page, that they don't have to leave Instagram at all, then it's gonna be significantly cheaper. And that's gonna be the case for LinkedIn and YouTube ads as well. And to show you an example of this, I'll go into my Instagram profile here, where you can actually see my profile has a ton of content, right? It has all my stories, my client wins, my lifestyle, our growth, our methods, and our processes. And you can actually see here that our profile is optimized to drive people into our YouTube channel. If you were to go into any of my content, you'll actually see that a lot of the content is just like shorter form versions of my YouTube videos with a call to action of, hey, go to my YouTube to actually see this entire video, right? And that way, if I was able to run ads directly to my Instagram profile and get people to just follow me, right? That's the point of this ad. My ad is not to get someone to jump into my website and try to like opt into some sort of VSL. It's literally, hey, follow my Instagram profile if you are a coach, consultant, agency owner looking to scale, and just consume all of my content because it's gonna be really valuable for you. And once they're in, once I've locked them in to being one of my followers, everything in the page is going to just push them into YouTube. And that's exactly how we do it. We run follower ads, and we try to just get engagement ads, which are way cheaper. And then the beautiful thing is not only do we get them to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us there, and now they're gonna continuously get more and more and more and more of our YouTube videos, but now we can actually DM people, right? Because unfortunately with YouTube, you can't DM people. Whereas with Instagram, you can. So this is actually a huge chunk of where we can start to generate results as well, because the next step in order to book a call is that we want to be able to have a setter following up with them. So a setter, I mean, if you haven't already watched my channel, a setter is essentially someone whose job is to literally just talk to everyone in the DMs and get them to book a call, right? If anyone follows us, we message them, we ask them like, hey, what's your story? What are you looking to do? And let's get you into a call, right? If the person's not ready to jump on a call, then they'll just send them YouTube videos or other assets to try to warm them up, and then they can follow up with them like 2 or 3 days later. So our setters are constantly in the DMs messaging everyone, right? And that's kind of the entire point of this funnel. So running paid traffic into a YouTube channel, and sometimes they're gonna book a call right from just having seen a YouTube video, but most of the time, it's gonna be the setters who are gonna be actually talking people into booking a call. So it's a little bit more of a proactive process. So let me summarize why this works so much better. A, the actual paid media is a lot more efficient because we're not trying to drive people off the website, which is just inherently more expensive. Then, in the middle of the funnel, YouTube and the copious amounts of videos is just much better at indoctrinating people than a VSL, which is a single piece of video content that people may or may not even go through. And then the next thing is that we have a setter here, which actually follows up with people and is very proactive at getting them into a call rather than just waiting for someone to book all on their own. So now we're fixing a ton of issues that exist in this funnel where there's no proactivity, it's really not that much content, it's expensive at the top of the funnel to even get the impressions and the click-throughs to begin with. So this is a much, much more effective system. So if that is something that you are looking to do, right? If you want to generate more leads for yourself, if you want to fill up your pipeline with higher qualified appointments, if you want them to actually be more indoctrinated so by the time they enter a sales call, they're much more likely to buy. And if you just want to have more efficiency because a setter would obviously be able to take off all the biz dev from your plate and maximize the ad spend that you're putting into your system, then this is what you have to build. And luckily for you, this is something that we help our clients construct in their own organizations. So let me know, book a call below if that's something that you're interested in working with me on. And if not, then you can just DM me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter so that we can have a little bit of a back and forth conversation so that we could walk you through, hey, here's how you can actually succeed. You can talk to my setter. And by the way, I obviously mentioned Instagram here as like the primary method, but you don't have to just use Instagram. If you're more of a B2B audience, you could deploy something similar on LinkedIn. Like we have our core LinkedIn profile with all of our YouTube content as well. So it's something kind of similar. And obviously our setters exist inside our LinkedIn ecosystem as well. So if that's something that would be valuable to you, then once again, book a call with me below or just DM me on socials. And if you don't want to do that, then we have a couple of videos here as well that you can just check out, which would be, I'm sure, valuable for your business. So with that being said, I'll see you next time. Cheers.